Inside?
All right, mate.
What's crack?
Not much. Much. Feels a bit weird without any quiz questions and beer.
You know, I was actually going to suggest, shall we have a beer when we do this?
Nah.
Yeah. So my dog's just come in. Hello. It's because he's heard me talking to someone.
Yeah. My one's just lying sleeping here. Just
What do you have?
a pug.
Ah, of course you do. Of course you do.
But it's like 11 now, so we just can't be bothered anymore. So.
Well, listen, I've just noticed
You.
we're recording already, so like we've got content already. This is golden content. What I might do, I was going to message you this early, but I was I didn't know if it would send anxiety through your very core. Might stream this live on Facebook as well.
Whatever, mate. Yeah. Just apologise in advance. Yeah, man. Yeah. Whatever, man.
So what I'm going to do, I'll just do a little bit of a recording beforehand. Like I'm keeping this exact sentence in. I'm going to do a little bit of a recording beforehand, tell people it's a bonus podcast, and then hand over to both of us. I might not even do that. I might just like do it like that. But I'll ping it live on the Facebook now, and we'll get people watching.
You subtitles.
Yeah. I'll put it. Well, I'll put it on my page. Yeah, I'll put it on my page. Ricky Long next. What have you been up to today, mate?
And amongst trying to work, I've been running about just getting all the photos and stuff done. My head is absolutely fried at the minute. My phone's just, I think I've charged my phone 4 times today. So it's like, I'm just running around. I'm just trying to get like the businesses and stuff that have donated and to get round to them and get some photos with them just for the page and everything. But we got a really good video from, do you watch Peaky Blinders?
I'm aware of it. I don't watch it.
Right. Well, this guy is one of the main characters in it, and he sent this like epic video. But he actually drove to the Mourns to make it.
No way.
Yeah. So he drove to the Mourns to make it, and he sent it in. So hopefully it'll be up on the page in the next few days. Like, but it's class. The guy's mad. Like.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding. I love that. Where else would you get it?
I know.
I'm just having a problem here with the connection. Plus, I'm worried I'm spelling sleeve down or draw. Survivors also side. That's also a hard word to spell.
No, I know.
Golden content, by the way, for the podcast listeners. You know what's like? You know what's weird? See when you type suicide into Google, like you'd expect all these helplines to come up on all the support. Doesn't like Suicide Squad. That's the first thing that comes up.
I know.
There's no red flag by Google. Oh, this person entering this in might be thinking bad thoughts. Now we'll just take them to the pictures.
That says it all, doesn't it?
Kirk. What will John Minnis estate agents? That's not you.
No.
Might need to. It's not.
You looking for my profile? Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes Facebook is a little bit wanky when it's tagging people from a page to a personal page.
Right. Okay. The one with the City Hall, the Summit profile picture. So I don't know if that helps.
Tell Lindsay something.
Hold on, this is maybe right. I've only got you as a friend on Facebook. I didn't actually know you had a separate page. So there we go. I've liked that, so maybe that'll help it.
One more follower for the page. really random. Like it's tagging. I can find somebody called Chris Kirkby who lives in Newcastle. Like absolutely useless to me right now.
He'll do. He'll do. He'll be wondering what's going on.
Right. How can we get around this? There's always a way around it. Tag. Could you send me the link to the donation page?
Yes.
There's just
for the GoFundMe page or the actual Facebook page?
The GoFundMe page. That'll be better.
Yeah, I'll send it. No, what's up now? It's like a big, massive link. Hold on, I'll send it through.
I'm gonna try and go into Facebook again. I will now. You just WhatsApp to me, yeah?
Yeah.
Is he as loud as I think he is?
No, I'm probably immune to it, but my dog does nothing but bark all day, so I just blank it out. It's like white noise. I'm just surprised if he starts, then we're both screwed because we'll not hear anything.
I was suicide. City Hall Summit challenge.
Yep.
Kirk. Oh, had you? I took you away? Oh, my Facebook hates you. There you are. Got you. Right. So once I hit the button here, we'll be live on Facebook. There's always a little bit of a time delay.
Yeah.
But I think it will have more effect this way. My whole house is going nuts now.
Yeah. Hold on, you've thoughts on it. It's okay. No, just like I had a cracker photo of you there. Should have just took it. It was like a freeze frame, and it was.
What if I got the pH? Yeah, I'll do that just while I'm waiting for the boiler to stop here. City Hall Challenge. Go Facebook. Sorry, WhatsApp. That's some link in
it. No, there. I don't know why. Sometimes there's like a shortened version of it that comes up, but I can't seem to find it. It just keeps that one.
I'll get a shorter one here. Just if I enter that. Sure. Copy. Boom. Got it. Magic. Reed, you ready? We're going to chat about, obviously, the challenge. We're going to chat about the reasons why, how many people are involved. We'll talk about your your training towards it. We'll talk about our WhatsApp group as well, delicately. And just all things around it. Really, really relaxed and feel free to swear as long as we don't call anyone a dick themselves. But just whatever comes up, I'll let you lead it. Anything around 20 to 30 minutes would probably be ideal.
Yeah.
But if it's less or more, if you need to go early, do you have a time you need to head up?
No, mate, no. I've got them in the front room, so we're good.
Perfect. Right, so I'm going to go live in 3, 2, 1. That is us. We are now live on the Facebook, Chris. There is no turning back now. We can't do anything about it now. What I always do at this point, I always just go onto my phone quickly to make sure we are there. So whilst I do that, do you want to quickly introduce yourself? Normally I put people on the spot and I'm like, who is Chris?
Oh no, don't get out of that. Yeah, right. So I'm Chris Kirk. and I was basically thinking behind the City Hall, the Summit Challenge that's going to be taking place on the 10th of October, and that's actually World Mental Health Day. So initially, when I first started, actually what it is, first of all, is we're actually going to be walking from Belfast City Hall, about 40 miles to the top of Slieve Donner, which is Northern Ireland's highest mountain peak, for anyone that doesn't know. Probably going to take about 14 hours, hopefully a little bit less. The reason why we're doing this is to raise awareness of let's be honest, the suicide pandemic that we have in Belfast. A lot of people, even in this country, don't even know about it. A lot of people in Belfast don't even know about it. But over the last lot of weeks, it's just got beyond the joke. I mean, it always has, but for the last lot of weeks, it just seems to have really escalated massively. Just a simple figure, just to put it into perspective. Last week alone, there was 35 suicides in Northern Ireland. Like, that's unbelievable. If you want to, I don't really like talking about the whole COVID thing, but if you want to put this into perspective, in 7 weeks in Northern Ireland, there's been one COVID death. In 1 week, last week, was 35 suicides. You know, and the COVID thing is the pandemic, but, so I think that says a lot, the numbers say a lot. So that's why we are doing this, to try and raise awareness, but also raise money for a local charity, Survivors of Suicide. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of work. They're a non-funded organisation. So basically all their funding and everything is solely through charity and donations and everything. So they need people like us to take on events and fundraisers and everything to keep their doors open. And more so now than ever, they are needed. We can't afford people like these like Claire from Survivors Suicide. We can't afford for them to disappear. They need to be here more than ever. Actually, we need more, but I don't know when it probably needs to come through the NHS, But it's for some reason or another, it's not somewhere that we pump a lot of money into, in my eyes anyway. Some people disagree with that, but it is a big thing,
I do very much agree with that last thing you said, how there is generally there isn't enough support for mental health in general, and specific things like that. That figure alone, you said there's been 35 deaths in the last week, suicide deaths in Northern Ireland. And I know people listening to this and watching this will be from all over the UK and maybe beyond that. But Northern Ireland has by far the highest suicide rate in the UK, which will surprise a lot of people, because you think, little Northern Ireland, there's only 2 million people live there, or whatever it officially is, and it's got the highest rate. So 35 people in the last week. I didn't know that. That's quite, that like one's too many.
Yeah,
35 is definitely too many.
Well, like even from a more concentrated version, last Wednesday. So as you know, I'm not too sure about Scotland, but they always do the announcement here on a Thursday about current lockdown situations and everything. Well, last Wednesday, the day before all that talk, there was 3 suicides in East Belfast alone, in that small area of Belfast, not even Northern Ireland or Belfast, East Belfast. There was 3 suicides last Wednesday. Like, that's just, and it's like, I've always known about it, and from my own personal opinion, like I do have mental health. I do suffer. I take medication. I do suffer from depression and anxiety. But the extent of suicide and stuff, I've never got to that extent. But it kind of feels like if someone's in that place, they need help, and if they're not, like, from my personal experience. Last year, I ended up having to go to it was another charity-funded organisation to do CBT counselling. Mm-hmm. I contacted for the simple reason it was a place actually on the Shankill called Compass Counselling. They were fantastic. Mm-hmm. I phoned them on the Friday and they had me in there on the Monday, and that's what's needed, really. Because if someone's in a really bad place and there's been a suicide, being told we can't see you for 6 months isn't going to do anything. Well, it is. It's going to probably push them to actually, going through with the act because there's no help for them. But just to put into perspective of the sort of NHS side of things, I actually, for years, I've sort of been up and down with anxiety and depression. I didn't really know why or what it was. I just thought it was just a moody wee shit, to be honest. But I didn't know, I didn't know what was going on until I really sat down and spoke to the counsellor about it. Because some days I was on top of the world, some days just complete shit, didn't want to get out of bed, and a lot of people are surprised at that because generally, anytime you're at a party or you're in a things and chatty and outgoing and stuff like that, but it's when you're set with your own thoughts and stuff, that's when when you have to deal with all these things. You can mask it and you can sort of be in around a crowd and be feeding off the buzz of everyone else. When you're with your own thoughts, that's the hardest bit. So what I had done was I built up the courage and I contacted my doctor and said, look, the last time I was in the surgery, I seen that you now offer CBT therapy in our local surgery. So I would like to come down and speak to the therapist about that and maybe get onto it. And I was told there was a 3.5-year waiting list for CBT.
Can I just interrupt? What's CBT for?
Oh, so cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay, yeah.
It's to deal with anxiety. So if you have thoughts or whatever, you're getting overwhelmed, it's to bring you back down, rationalize things and go through a process in your head to bring you back down to a calm state.
Okay.
And basically just deal with things without, medical or whatever. So generally most courses, like I think mine lasted, it was 8 weeks and it done me the world of good. It was amazing. But to be told that on that day when I actually, it took me about 4 or 5 times. I phoned the doctors, hung up, phone, just until I was like, no, I have to do it. And when I was told I was feeling down and anxiety, so I mean, at the stage of suicidal thoughts or anything, but being told that I literally would have to wait 3.5 years to be seen, it was like a kick in the balls, like, to be honest, But that's where we are here.
I think what's interesting. First of all, thank you for sharing that. I don't know if you plan to share that personal story. And it's something, when people talk about mental health, is from my understanding of it, and I've had my mental health interactions, let's just say.
Yeah.
There's mental health and there's like mental illness.
Yeah.
Whereas, and they're both two very, very different things. So like an illness is a disorder where you might have like a imbalance in your brain that you cannot produce happy hormones, so you're always depressed. That's a really, really simple, easy analogy. Then you have the mental health, which is possibly produced by something else, like an external event. For example, say you're made redundant from your job.
It's reactive then. Yeah.
And I dare say that in COVID, in lockdown with businesses and all, that will be probably more prominent for people. Those external things that you can't control. Maybe the evidence is there if 35 people they take their life in the last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny you said about CBT therapy there, and I didn't know what it was because at one point I was advised to go.
Okay.
And I made the initial phone call, I think, arranged to go in for the 1-to-1 with I can't remember, my doctor changed from Dr. Rainey on the Craigie Road to someone else. And anyway, had that 1-to-1, advised to go, and never went. Mm-hmm. And I'll bet you there's loads of people like that who never went, and there's people like yourself who took you ages to actually go and make that first difference. Speaking specifically about survivors of suicide, so these are it's exactly what it says, people who have attempted suicide and have survived suicide. What does that charity do? Like, how do they support these men and women?
So they're basically anyone contacts them who are in that sort of place, they will sit down with them. They're a counselling service. They will sit and listen to them. They'll be the listening ear. for these people. They also, and obviously then the process that they go through with people who have those thoughts, that obviously shift their mindset. Not only that, then they're also there for the families of people who have went the whole way. So they're there for bereavement counselling and that support of someone of the family, so they deal with the best side and the worst side of, if you want, this one. They basically save people that are thinking about it. But then ultimately, yes, as we know, people do go through with it, and then the families are left behind, and they don't know where to turn to. They don't know what to do, and one of the main reason why I've taken this on is because a month ago it was my uncle. He committed suicide. I don't like saying committed suicide. He went through with suicide. I don't like saying committed suicide. He went through with it. So that's why that was the straw that comes back from me. And I just felt like, right, okay, we could probably do something here that's going to really raise awareness and really, help this charity, like bring money in and, that sort of thing. So that's why we did do this. But again, yeah, there were people who were saying they literally, the girl who's the main one who I've been speaking to, like she's there 60, 70 hours a week in her own time, at any time of the night, any time of the week. If she gets a phone call, she's there. She has to go, and maybe gets a call in the middle of the night if someone is attempting or someone who is and she'll be there. So she will,
Is that enough though for the 35 people who need it?
No. Well, she can't spread herself around everyone. She can't divide herself into. That's the main. There is charities and there's these volunteers around the Belfast area, but yeah, they can't do it themselves. Like, if the way I always say it is like it is an illness. If you go to the hospital with a broken arm or a certain illness or whatever, you're treated. But suicide, mental health doesn't really get the same sort of treatment as other illnesses, if you want to say. That it's even from the point of view, and this is something I didn't know either. It's a wee bit off the path, but so the way like a lot of when we get postnatal depression and stuff like that there. In Northern Ireland, we don't have a counselling service for postnatal depression. We're the only part of the UK that doesn't have that or doesn't offer that service to women who go through postnatal depression. We don't have any outlet or any where for them to do that. Like,
honestly, as shocking as that is, that doesn't surprise me because I have a friend who had a gambling addiction. And when it was time for my friend, it was a fella, just makes it easy to me say it was a fella, for him to get help, there was no gambling. I don't even know the correct term, but there was no counselling for gambling addicts in Northern Ireland. So it doesn't surprise me that there's no postnatal depression.
Yeah,
that's two shocking stats in itself. Never mind what everything else we spoke about.
Yeah, I know it's good. So I mean, obviously, we're a small needle in a haystack. Like, obviously, there'll be no real change here unless the government do really. They can come out. They can bring local councillors can stand on World Suicide Prevention Day and say, yes, we stand with you. It's okay to talk. It's this, that. That's all right, but they can do that one day a year, and then, but what's being done? Nothing. Like, what's being done, and like, it's taken 3 years to get the government here to just be in the same room as each other. So I don't really have much hope of.
It took a global pandemic to get them in the same room as each other.
It took them to be threatened to get their wages stopped. But that's going to. But all I'm saying is, as I'm in my 30s. As my age, I don't have any hope in our government to deal with matters like these are real issues, and I don't have any hope that our local government can actually deal with stuff like that, because they can't even argue black's white, so how are they going to deal with real world issues that we clearly have here that they don't seem to want to bother about?
So it's taking up too much time on their lunches when they go into Belfast and have their glasses of wine on the expenses list at lunchtime.
Yeah.
8 days a week. Right, let's talk specifically about what you're doing, or rather your team. So first of all, tell us exactly what it is you're doing, how many people's doing it,
right.
And then I'll just fire questions at you. And by the way, see, for everyone listening and watching, we have a WhatsApp group. So we have, I've always wondered about this WhatsApp group. So there's a group of friends who have all kind of, it's mainly the girls, isn't it? Have all kind of, they all went to school together, and then got boyfriends, and they're now husbands, and they're now daddies and all that. And there's one big group, and then we have like of all the guys and girls, and then there's the lads group, right?
I don't know if girls know about that group though, do they?
Well, this is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It just dawned on me, because I was planning these questions earlier. I was like, right, we'll talk about the lads WhatsApp group and how there's so much shit in there which like can never be mentioned anywhere, let alone on a Facebook Live. But then I thought, do the girls have a group as well? Like, is that?
I would say they're worse. Like, yeah.
I bet you they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you they're watching this and they're squirming. Yeah. But yeah, so much stuff goes on in our WhatsApp group. So all the lads, for just context of people, to talk so much, and you're one of them. I'm talking about you here. Talk about Irish League football, and I have no interest in Irish League football and lesser knowledge. So I will miss so much content. And it was today with what everybody will know what we were talking about. But there was just so much I finally bit, and I had to go and read. I don't know what. I just needed to be part of the group. It's like that episode of Friends where Joey buys the encyclopedias and he just wants to talk about anything that begins with V. I was just like, right, I'm going to go read about, and as long as we're talking about this one particular thing in Irish League football, I'm good for today.
Yeah, covers you for the day. I'll probably cover you for the next few weeks, mate, because nothing else will be talked about.
And everybody listening or watching probably knows what that is. But anyway, that was a long way of me saying you announced what you were doing in that WhatsApp group, and because so much content goes on, I kind of missed it at the start. And it's a really big fucking deal what you're doing in terms of a physical challenge. Never mind the great stuff like fundraising and the great message you're spreading. Like that's obviously fantastic, go you, well done. But it's actual challenge you're doing. So talk us through what it is, and how did that specific idea come to surface?
Right, okay. So for anyone that obviously lives here will know sort of the context of what it means to walk from Belfast City Hall, the top of Sleep Donard. So basically,
by the way, anyone who's not from Belfast, Sleep Donard is in fact the tallest mountain in the world. Well, Cave Hill is the tallest and Belfast is second. Some people think it's like Everest and like Snowdon and Ben Nevis is bigger, but Cave Hill and Sleep Donard are tallest mountains in the world.
They're like twice the height of Everest. That's Cave Hill, and it's again double that, but it'll feel like that. So Belfast City Hall, right in the centre of our capital, and we'll be walking to Sleep Donard, which is in Newcastle, County Down. So basically, to get to there, we have to walk the length, essentially right to the heart of the County Down, really. Like, probably passing through, I think, about 10 towns, villages, etc. But yeah, it's a 40-mile hike from the City Hall to the top of Sleep Donard. Then obviously we'll have to come back down again and finish at the bottom. So yes, there's going to be initially when I first started this, to be honest with you, Ricky, it was going to be me doing this by myself to raise maybe a couple of £100, and this was literally just to keep my mind active, because to be honest with you, being locked down for 4 months, I was bored shitless and just pissed off, and I just had no drive and no enthusiasm for anything. So this was something to get my head ticking again, and also with the events of what happened in the family a few weeks ago, I thought, right, well, this is something I can do here for the good, but also for something to give myself a kick up the ass again too, to be honest. So to get my head in. But see, as soon as I put that into a couple of my friends' circles, it was just like it blew up. It was like, you're mental, but can I say where I sign? Like basically, it's like fucking nuts, mate. But can I do it with you? So that was sort of the beginning of it. So then we went, right, we're going to do it with 5 people. Then 5 people turned to 10. So I think we're up at 25 or something now doing it. So obviously Stevie Torrance doing it, Gary doing it. So yeah.
Well, the banter you're going to have,
That'd be class, like.
Because what will happen with Stevie is he'll be full of beans and jokes and hyper for a good 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he'll just get grumpy and sarcastic and Getty will notice this, and Getty will just wind Torrens up. And Getty will spend 39 miles doing that.
Yeah. Epic. Yeah, so yeah, as I say, it's going to take about 14 hours, give or take. The thing about this, obviously, as well, we wanted to make it a significant date as well. So obviously, we went for the 10th of October being World Mental Health Day again, because by using that, hopefully, then it does attract more sort of attention. Because generally in these times, people, as I said, World Suicide Prevention Day, everyone's flat out about it. You know what I mean? But the rest of the year, it's pretty much, everyone will do the hashtag thing, whatever. So we wanted to do it on a day where everyone actually is thinking about it. So that's why we'll pick that date. Now, the only thing is, as you well know, October, by the time we get to Donard and up there, it could be snowing.
Yeah, what? I might have missed this. What time are you setting off from City Hall?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So, 4 a.m. We're leaving 4 a.m. from City Hall. So, Thompson's will just be getting out. So,
start with a burger.
Yeah.
So, 40 miles, you're probably walking, depending on how much kit you have, there's a group of you, 3 miles an hour, would you be going?
Yeah, that's the sort of what we're hoping for. Because obviously with a crowd, you're going to have different abilities too. So,
yeah.
But like if we're doing it sort of 3 miles an hour, it's probably going to take us to about 6, half 6 at night.
It would be getting dark at that time.
Oh yeah, we'll be probably, if we make good time, we'll be halfway up Donard and it'll be getting dark, or maybe dark, but it'll be definitely dark on the way back down again. So it'll be all head torches and stuff like that, So.
I was going to say you're going to need to make sure you have an external charger for your phone, so as you can use the torch on your phone.
Yeah, no, with the head torches and stuff there and everything, like it's. There's a few people that have said they wanted to meet us at Donard and then do it, but then when you sort of go, well, it's October and it's going to be pitch black and it's like, I could be snowing. Nah, it's okay. We'll just donate. But, yeah, it's gonna be mammoth. Like it will be tough. But going back to what you were sort of saying, why pick this as well? Another, like before the lockdown stuff like that, I'd been up the mornings once. And then during lockdown, it was just, as I said, I was getting pissed off, getting bored. And I started going up hiking with one of the fellas, Keith, who's actually doing the walk with us. And I actually it was just like, it felt amazing. The first time I went up there with him, and just, we walked for 6 hours. And I came back off the mountains and I just felt like a new person. I hadn't felt like that for such a long time. Just to see the clear air and just basically getting away from just all the madness that was going on. It was amazing. And I instantly addicted to going up and doing it. And then the week after, we'd done the 7 peak challenge. So it was.
When were you doing that?
Yeah. And it was like hailstones in the June and we near blew off the side of the mountain. And it was just, there was at a point it was that foggy. We couldn't even see or know where we were. And our GPS got water in it. And we're just absolutely, we couldn't even see the peaks, so we couldn't even say, look, we're here and we're here. At one point, I just thought to myself, right, we're here for the night with half a packet of Skittles and a Lucozade Sport left, and that was just like,
it felt scary. That sounds a good party.
Yeah. But I was, the legs were going, like it was, as I say, we were about 14 hours in. I think we'd done 19 or 20 miles over the peaks. And, but see, after, like, on home and stuff, it was just like, it's like any sport or anything or any training during it, it's absolute hell. But then when you get back, you feel so good and it's refreshing. So I just wanted to actually bring that into what we were doing. because I enjoy, like, selfishly, but like I enjoyed doing that so much. But he also wanted to bring other people along to experience this with, when we got up there, because it's just given me a complete new interest. And it's so strange, like, where it's just, like, in all honesty, just the way my head's been and stuff, I haven't been training consistently, and some people know, some people don't know. Like, you'll know, I went and became a personal trainer like 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Remember? And I was working in One Fitness in Lisburn and stuff, and I had to give that up because of my head. I just, my idea in my head was, if I don't feel right myself, how can I sort of relay and make other people feel better? So I loved it. I had to just walk away from it. And in all honesty, I have hardly stepped foot in the gym since. I don't know why. It's just, I just don't like going back into the gym at the minute. But, so this is a new outlet for me. This is being outside and in the fresh air and stuff, and it's given me a bit of a buzz. But now I'm having to train to obviously to complete this. So it has given me a kick up the ass again,
I can vouch for anyone who might doubt your amateur status here, because in the WhatsApp group, you suddenly started posting that you'd been going up, Sleeve Donard and doing, the other Mourne Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And then you posted a picture in of the boots that you bought. And somebody asked, it wasn't me, somebody asked, what have you been doing it in previous? And you took a picture of these shitty old, I think they were Adidas trainers from memory. And they were just...
They were the hot trail runners. They were like these, but they're like something you'd wear to a water park.
Right. The worst footwear for walking up mountains and rocks.
Yeah.
And it must be said that Sleeve Donner itself, okay, fair enough. There's a good bit of a path for the majority of that. But one of the Mourne Mountains is just marsh, is just bog.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is, yeah.
Close your eyes, you're actually in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. We didn't see anyone. There was a point where we had walked for nearly 6 hours. We hadn't seen anyone. It was so eerie, like, but it was fantastic.
So you say you've got 25-ish people doing this. Is there anyone's first time? Because like I've never done Sleeve Donard. I've done all the Mourne Mountains, like in general, when I did my Duke of Ed. Remember everybody did Duke of Ed when they were like 15? So I did, but never did Sleeve Donard. So is there anyone doing it for the first time?
No. We consciously made that point that we're going to need people who have reasonable fitness. You don't want someone doing this, and I'm all for people. I love people challenging themselves and setting themselves up. But realistically, if someone was a complete, like, hadn't exercised, hadn't done anything, 5 weeks is not enough to prove themselves to do what we're going to do. So that might sound harsh, but it's true. I don't want someone damaging themselves seriously.
Yeah.
In need of a charity challenge, essentially, But yeah, everyone on the group that's doing it has experience of being up the mountains and experience of marathons. A lot of there's forces guys and stuff, so most of them are sort of well primed for it, like,
I'm just getting the page up, and what I'll do, because you had visions of about 500 pounds, didn't you? Just like 400 or 500 pounds, they're quite good. What we've got now is you're on, so I'm sharing this live on Facebook so people can do it.
Yeah.
So there's like 2,500 pounds there.
Yeah.
2,479. That's incredible. What I noticed about this, don't know if you noticed, like when I say only 97 people have donated.
Yeah.
So let's call that 100. Let's call it 2,500. So people are averaging £20 a donation, which is just like, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant, which I think is great. You can see some.
I find that, like, it's even more surprising. Like, I set a bit of a low ball target too, because obviously times are tough for people. There's a lot of people that haven't returned back to work again, or they're getting partial wages and school uniforms and all that. But I mean, that's a week's fundraising.
Has it only been going a week?
Yeah.
Do you know why I'm laughing? It's because I watched that video of you with the guy from Survivors of Suicide, and he ripped you to shreds because he handed you the mic and you were like, oh, I'm like, What are you so shy about? Sure, you've been messaging everyone, and you have. Like, you've been relentless.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
the right? So quickly, who all have you messaged? The caliber of person you've messaged. I know on the page we've got a lot of Northern Ireland internationals: Roy Carroll, Corey Evans, a couple of the Irish League boys as well. You know, who all have you been messaging?
We actually got a phone call from Gary Armstrong last week. I sent a message and he phoned me back, and I was like, so like my phone went, and because it was through the messenger that had sent him, just asking would he do a short video. Next minute my phone's flashing up Jerry Armstrong, and yeah, fuck off, someone's waiting to be up here. And I answered it, and it's like, hello, this is Jerry, and just want to wish you all the best and everything. And he's like, if there's anything I can do for you, and I was like, oh thanks Jerry, thanks. You know, it just like I didn't even know what to say. You know, but yeah, we've had, like, as I was saying to you earlier on there, the guy who plays, he's one of the Peaky Blinders guys. He's just done an absolute epic video for us. He actually drove to the Mourns to do this video. So this will be going up on the Facebook page in the next couple of days. So him as well. And as you've mentioned, yes, the Northern Ireland guys have been fantastic. The footballers, Corey Evans and Gavin White, and they're both across the water and they've taken time out. Also, from the ladies, Megan Bell, the Rangers ladies, and Northern Ireland International. She sent a video through last night as well. There is actually a couple of really big ones that we're holding out for here, and I think we are going to get them, but it's just at the minute with their schedule and stuff like that there, and obviously returning back to their roles and stuff like that, we're having to sort of hold out and wait. You know, we can't just keep going, here, mate, have you got that video yet? You know, so we'll have to just wait. We'll in all honesty, we've put quite a lot of requests out, so hopefully they are. And Linfield have been fantastic too, actually. And I would actually personal thank you to Jimmy Mulgrew. I grew up with Jimmy, and he took the time out and done that there, and it was really good. And also another one who have actually really surprised me was Ballymena United. They really got on board with what we were doing. Their main guy up front, Adam Leckie, he on video, baller, donated, shares all the posts, and then actual Ballymena's own Facebook page and all their official pages and stuff have been sharing all their content, and also actually massive thank you to them because they've been fantastic, you know. But that's yeah, as well with boxers, with Carly McNaull from Belfast as well, the Commonwealth boxer as well. She was actually meant to do the challenge with us, but then she's now going to Germany for the box. She'll be in the ring that night. I don't know what's going to happen. It's your day, like whether it'll be her or us, but I don't know. I would say she'll be finished before we are, like. You know.
I mean, that's brilliant. The caliber of person you've got supporting it. I don't know it was all dead serious, but just so you know, I'm going to have to edit that out, that little bit about Jamie Mulgrew, because he still brings back nightmares for me because he scored a hat trick past me once, like under 14 level. I couldn't even tell you who he was playing for. It was when I was playing for Dundonald. He scored a hat trick against us. So yeah,
maybe was it? St Andrews.
But possibly, but we haven't spoke since. And you know, like he messages me all the time, and I just blank him obviously. So I'll just
highlight of his career. I think that might have been.
I wouldn't know. I just he's blocked from all my content.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I just want to make it really, really clear for people watching, listening. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, in the show notes, you can see the donation page where you can go, and if you have a couple of quid, that's great, donate. And if you could share it, I think is just equally as valuable because it's raising awareness, not just about what Chris is doing, Chris and the team's doing, but it raises awareness about, you know, mental health survivors of suicide. So please do share it. Is there anything else you want to add on that, mate?
No, just also thank you for bringing me on here and doing this. Well, it's most appreciated, mate. And it would have been great. Obviously, where you are, you can't get across to do it. It would have been brilliant. But you're actually taking on your own challenge, aren't you, in the end of the month here as well?
Yeah, next weekend. So I was planned to do a triathlon in the middle of this triathlon season. Obviously cancelled for anyone that hasn't heard. There's a global pandemic So a lot of things have been cancelled. So it's kind of, I was always thinking at the end of the season, I need to do something. So I'm going to do a half Ironman next week. So for those that want to know the distances, it's a 2K swim, which will be open water. It will be 90 kilometers on the bike, outdoor bike, and then it's a half marathon, so it's 21 kilometers or 13 miles. So I'll do that back to back to back, and I'm not doing it for time or anything. I'll probably be on my phone half the time, talking about mental health survivors of suicide, because it's good. It's good that it's almost to get double bubble. It's okay, I can do my fitness event for me, but I can also raise awareness to something else. And I get some people might do it the other way around, and I totally respect this, like I'm going to walk a mile for every pound that's donated, whatever it might be, people do which is absolutely fine as well. But for me, this just kind of felt right. And I was looking at, could I get over for the walk? It would, in theory, it could have been done, but it was just so difficult to do with my workload and everything else that I've got going on. And again, because of these unprecedented times, the cost of the flights and the boat right now, we're just like, we need to do a GoFundMe page just for that, and nobody would donate to get me home. Depending on
I think if we paid to get them home, we'd actually be in debt and we wouldn't have any money for the charity at this point. So, yeah.
Oh dear, love it. So when you're doing the walk, what morale boosting tips, techniques, like are you just going to sing? Are you just going to play games? Do you stuff?
I would say there'd be a bit of singing, like you know most of us that are doing it. So yeah, there's probably going to be a bit of singing. Like
I think what we need to do is say I'm going to be there. On the Instagram story, at the very least, you do quizzes on the Instagram story. There's a karaoke.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to need to bring some sort of ghetto blaster with them. So you can really get the tunes up. I'm also.
That actually, at that, you're laughing. The guy Dylan McKee, local DJ from Belfast, he works along with Survivors Suicide. He's actually driving the whole route with us and doing his radio show from the car that day with us. So he's going to be pumping out the Albert beats, as we would know.
He's driving it though, lazy bastard. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I bet he's going to get out at the end and like he'll be the first one to cross the finish line as such to get to the spot, and he'll take all
cross it. Yeah.
He'll do a full John Terry. He'll be there in a full kit. He'll have hiking, the hook and boots. He'll have the sticks and everything. Be like,
100%. But yeah, he's supplying the beats. So he is on the way. So yeah. So I'm sure like
karaoke, pub quizzes, some sort of truth or dare, and avoid pranks in general because somebody could get injured. Unless you are planning on pranking Getty, because that's always fun. Definitely do that. But
we'll probably like as I said before, the distance that you're doing, like you'll have great laugh. It'll be good fun. You'll fall out with each other. It'll be tension. You'll be walking for a couple of hours not speaking. Then you'll just go through all that. Like with it, it's like anything like that. There, there'd be just times where you'll just be like, right, calm down here. I've been listening to you for the last 6 hours. Just give me headpiece, just let me walk. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll all get there together.
Just having a quick look on the Facebook page. There's been like 44 people have tuned in at some point here. Just seeing if there's any questions. Not that we invited questions around them, which kind of started talking to them. So no questions obviously there. So what I'll do, if you want to just finish the Facebook broadcast, just give the page, give the cause one more plug, and then we'll come off Facebook and concentrate in the podcast.
Yep, no worries. So it's the City Hall to Summit Challenge, and you can find all our information on City Hall to Summit Challenge on Facebook and Instagram, and on Twitter it's at City Hall to Someone. And yes, you can go. So to get the GoFundMe, I think Ricky has the link there. But also, if you just go onto any of them social pages, every post literally has the GoFundMe link on it there. So if you're kind, want to be kind, just come on, donate a few quid. If you can't donate a few quid, or if you already have, please just share the content, get it out there. The awareness means as much as the money does. So by you sharing our post, it means just as much as the donations, you know.
I went on to Facebook. I didn't mean to do that at all.
Right.
Right, what I'll do, I'll stop on Facebook now. Stop the live stream. So we're just on the podcast now. Getty's actually said Ricky is Liz in the shower Ricky is in Liz in the shower and is just avoiding the walk. That's what he's doing.
Lockdown in the shower.
Up there the whole time. Mate, that's cool. So hopefully that and the podcast will direct people to it. So for all the podcast listeners right now, you can see all the links in the show notes. Like we said, sharing the page is just phenomenal because it'll raise awareness generally. Maybe should have said this in the Facebook post as well, is that every business is suffering right now. We all know that. And one of the biggest sufferers is charities. Because, you know, they have no events to sponsor. They have no people doing events for charities, and they rely on charity, funnily enough. So, you know, if you can give a couple of quid. I was reading a book called The Compound Effect. I recommend it for anyone. And I did a post on social media about this, and it's if you buy a coffee every day, and this is pricing a coffee at £2.50, and if you buy a coffee 5 days a week over a course of a year, that's going to be 800 quid. Yeah. And if you buy a coffee every day over 5 years, it's going to be 4 or 5 grand. Yeah. And over 20 years, it was 23 grand. Yeah. And this is a coffee at £2.50, which doesn't exist anymore. So let's increase all of that. And remember, on a Friday, you never just have a coffee. You always have a bun because, you know, it's Friday. You have carbs on a Friday.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
So just think about that. You know, to put the price on. You know, we said 35 people died in Northern Ireland last week through suicide. Mm-hmm. And over the next 20 years, it's very, very possible that you could spend 20 to 30 grand on coffee. Mm-hmm. Imagine what 20 to 30 grand could do for those 35 people, or even one of those people, in terms of support. It'll never bring back a life, don't get me wrong, but it helps the survivors of suicide, and it'll maybe help prevent people who are going down that path due to having actual proper support in place. So like if you're thinking of buying 2 or 3 coffees next week, you know, maybe just, you know, put that £7, you know, into this charity or any other charity, because we'll put all charities involved in that. But because we're talking about this cause, definitely share the page. Yeah. Magic, mate. Well, we'll sign off in just a second. I always ask people, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Yeah. So I have 3 stock questions at the end of every podcast. Okay. Yeah. He's like, oh shit. Yeah. Oh shit. What would you tell your 20-year-old self?
Don't condition your hair because it will fall out.
Never did.
So that's a tip for you, Ricky. So get to my age, mate.
I'm only 24, remember?
I know, exactly.
Yeah. Are you a reader? Listen to podcasts, audiobooks, anything like that? Is there anything you've listened to recently you'd recommend?
Not recently, mate, because I'll be honest with you, I get the run around the house with a wee one. And sitting down. This is probably the longest I've sat down in 2 years.
If you want to blag that we're here for the next 2 or 3 hours, that's fine.
Yeah. I'll get the beer here and then we'll just.
Listen, because it'll probably be topical for, you know, our friends who might listen to this. 3 podcasts that I thought were absolutely fantastic. I put it in our WhatsApp group. The Man United podcast, and Roy Carroll was on it the other day.
Yes, I heard it. Yeah.
First 45 minutes, good. Second 45 minutes, unbelievable, because he talks about where his mental health went and his battle with alcoholism and, you know, his family situation. Absolutely fantastic. There's another one again on the theme of mental health and everything we're talking about, the Ben Thornley one.
Okay. Yes.
For those that don't know, Ben Thornley like kept David Beckham out of the '92 Youth Cup winning team.
Yeah.
And then got his knee snapped in about 6 places.
Yeah.
And never quite recovered to that level. And it's just his whole journey. And the one before that, again, really, really current one. That's not the right word. Really, really think of the right word. Interesting one. I'll think of the right word as soon as it's that. Keith Gillespie.
Yeah.
On it. And it was absolutely brilliant. Again, he talks about how his career, where it went, and how he's now back staying in Bangor. And him and you might know more about this. Him, Pat McGibbon, and someone else have just started a football team.
Yeah. Roy Carroll just signed for them at the weekend. FC Mindwell.
No way.
Yeah, what a team. Yeah. So I don't know the whole story, but I've kind of stumbled across them because of what we've been doing the last few weeks. I think they're up around Mid-Ulster sort of direction. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but I think that's where they are. But last week, Roy Carroll done a video for us to support us for the City Challenge.
Yeah.
And the next day, then he signed for that FC Mindwell, and their whole basically USP is basically about men's mental health and breaking the stigma and speaking out, and not this whole fucking man up and have a pint, mate. Get that sort of stigma. Like that's basically a guy's solution to their mates' problems. Fuck's sake, mate. Sorry for my language, but grab a pint, you'll be all right. That's usually the solution. But these guys, they've set this team up, and it's basically the forefront of it is male mental health and speaking out and talk about it. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
That's class, because I heard Keith Gillespie talking about it, and he did that podcast a while ago. Roy Carroll's podcast was probably 2 weeks ago, so it was probably just pre that announcement, that press conference of Roy Carroll signing for Mid-Ulster Amateur League team.
Yeah, I know it's fantastic, but yeah, it's good to have them like back on that as well, and I'm sure they'll probably do it on a cold Tuesday night in Dungannon, like.
Mate, I've loved having you on and talking about this sort of thing. This is going to go out in a podcast probably tomorrow. It's obviously live on Facebook, so go give it a share. And then just one more time for the podcast viewers, what do they need to follow your progress?
Okay, so to follow us all, again, Facebook and Instagram, it's City Hall the Summit Challenge, and on Twitter, it's City Hall to Someone, and the number 1, sorry. So that's where you can find all our content. Also, then we'll have obviously the GoFundMe page, but again, all the links are on all the socials. But yeah, like we hope on the day to bring a bit of entertainment as well, and do a bit of videos and stories, and make it a bit of a joyous occasion too. Like what can be such a somber, subject. But we'll hope that bring us some entertainment along the way, which I'm sure there will be. But yeah, thanks again, Ricky, for having me on.
Not a problem. I was just about to say, of the 25 people who are going, is there anyone from that group who like you're going to have your eye on for you're smiling eye on for just being up to something apart from Torrance?
There's probably about 20 of us. And then when we're all together, it'll probably be worse. So I'm just hoping that there's a couple turn up. There's a few, and they're sort of few mutual friends who are doing this and have asked to do it because of them. And I'm kind of hoping they're sort of half sensible to keep the rest of us in line. Because it's not.
You're going to need it.
Yeah, no.
You need a responsible adult.
Yeah. Where would you get one of them? Do you know?
Do you know what I just thought is you should nominate a responsible adult for every hour and maybe give them a hat that they have to wear. You're the nominated responsible adult for this hour. And then they get to give it to someone else.
Yeah.
I would do that. I'd give it to everybody apart from Getty.
Yeah.
Mate, what a great way to finish. Thank you so much for coming on, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.